Welcome friends. We are glad to see you again on our Beeptoolkit platform channel. As we promised in the previous release, you will be presented with the next new further and capabilities of the platform. First of all, we would like to present the updated main panel of Beeptoolkit. Before you is a debug console, a simulator that allows you to configure the connected USB devices and monitor their work. A few introductory instructions for working with the main panel. It is important to take into account that if you want to run a complete simulation at the hardware level, then all USB kits must be connected before starting the Beeptoolkit software part. Otherwise, you will run into the limitations of the processed signals. All plugins in the process of launching Beeptoolkit go through their automatic registration. If for some reason you decide to expand the hardware with one or another USB module, you need to reload the software with this extension. Let us continue with the main panel. So, a simulator of a 16-channel USB output module. During the simulation, we can initiate the operation of each channel, and in the case of a hardware connection of an output module or a group of such modules, distribute communications between them and conduct experiments, which in general will allow us to better understand the topology of the future solution. In this version of the platform, it is possible to simultaneously connect from 1 to 10 modules. As a result, you get from 16 to 160 output channels. The next breakthrough in Beeptoolkit technology is our attractive verbal building scenario feature of controlling output channels. To create such a scenario, it is enough to determine which output channel of which module and what exactly will be started or stopped. For this by pressing the record key, we invoke the builder and enter the instructions. It is important that you first provide a unique name for each such session. Recording is done according to your silence intervals between each click. Recording can be done with or without hardware connection. At the same time, you are watching a software simulation of a 16-channel USB output module. Such an algorithm would be very useful. For example, when creating automata or when between one or another event there must be a command to launch a series of commands, with a pre-built specific script. You can check the recording result by pressing the play key. For clarity, we mounted a small control stand for 4 stepper motors. The builder interface is the result of Beeptoolkit graphic design in accordance with the wishes of the client. This is how the process of verbal building of the scenario looks like. Now playback. In the future, when developing your system, it will be enough for you to specify the session name in your instructions, and it will be included in the general algorithm of the main scenario. On-off button allows you to display sections for connecting modules or their groups on the configurator console. If several modules are connected, each of them must be identified with its own unique number. Let us continue with the next function. In the previous lectures, we discussed in detail how to work with the instruction input configurator panel. As you have noticed, calling and closing this panel is done by pressing the key. Open the instruction panel. Each of the 10 sections of the panel has 16 input and output instructions and 1 additional extended service element. In this case, it is a computer vision port. In this version, we have the ability to simultaneously connect up to 4 video cameras USB plug and play. Like all pluggable USB devices, the cameras must be identified using Beeptoolkit, configured with their unique numbers, and assigned to sections of the configurator panel. By analogy with all the USB modules considered here, the main panel has the ability to simulate the operation of a video camera, indicate the section number of each camera, and, if a trigger is applied, observe feedback on the output channels. Lack of communication will not allow us to perform any actions and monitoring. Let us fire up Vision Panel and see how this feature works. In addition to automatically launching video cameras, the service allows you to configure the reaction to certain colors that fall into the designated areas of the image. The size of the area and its shape are configured by the service menu. The limiter function allows you to specify the trigger value at which the call will occur to one of the 16 channels of the output port, such as starting an alarm, turning on the fire system, turning the motor axis to a certain angle, etc. In the process of determining the trigger value, in our case it is the selected specific color or its shade. The scanning speed is set to the minimum level sufficient for visual fixation of the trigger value and subsequent recording in the trigger field. The timer function allows you to set the port to standby mode, when the camera monitors at the specified time of day and the timing during which the camera is active. After the specified timing expires, the port stops its work with the transition to the next procedure, if it is set. So, for example, one of the possible instructions is to move the mobile device along the line, and if we have several cameras, these can be complex routing instructions. Working with a 10-channel USB input module has been discussed in detail in previous lectures. Its simulation, number identification and connection points are also displayed by the indication. If we simultaneously connect 160 such modules to each port in 10 sections, we will get 1,600 channels of simultaneous or selective voltage measurements from different sources or sensors in real time. Come up with where it might be useful. Let us return to our service for working with verbal scenario building that are created by entering commands. As previously demonstrated, commands for controlling output channels are written into a scenario with no restrictions on the number of such commands in one session. The configurator panel allows you to access and run these scenarios at one stage or another in the execution of other procedures. This version of the platform provides 4 service ports. In case when multiple exit modules are connected, these scripts will be run on the module specified in the instructions. We do not stop there. In the process of expanding existing solutions, we have new ideas. We will be happy to demonstrate this to you in our future releases. We thank everyone for their attention and interest in our project. We are waiting for you on our forum, Facebook page, Beeptoolkit, Telegram channel. Links are in the description. Share our releases with your friends, repost, ask questions, put likes, turn on the bell. See you soon.